Hello, hello.
Hey,
Hello, Joe. How are you?
all right.
That's good. Okay. Who have we got in chat? I don't think we've got a huge amount of people. Ghostly Findings is here. Hello, Jackie. And Mark and Annette are here. Hello, Mark and Annette. That's about it. I don't know. Oh, we've got Kerry.
Yeah,
Kerry. Kerry's here as well. Hello, Kerry. How are you? We might wait for a while to see if we get a few more people in. And yeah, I mean, a lot of, I mean, this is the second time I've interviewed you on my show.
mm,
Last time I think I only had about 300 subscribers. Now
yeah,
I'm up to five. So
that's
we've got a whole new group of people to explain
right.
to.
Right.
Hello, Dee. How are you?
You just got over 500, so congratulations.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. Doing really, really well. And yes, so I thought I'd have you on again. Originally, this was supposed to be about seeing if we can get you over the 1,000 sub mark, but you've done that. But now all you need is your 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah, yeah, that seems like a big one,
It
but
is.
but I think it can happen. I mean, I don't know if it will happen by the end of this year, but I guess it starts over. I learned that last January, so I guess it's 4,000 yearly. So I guess they're really strict on that. So
Yeah, they are. They are. But never mind, we'll get there. So I would encourage anyone who's got the ability to sit there and run a playlist for the paranormal side, please do.
yeah,
The links are in not only in the description, they're pinned, and you can go to my homepage and you'll see the paranormal side smack bang in the middle of my featured guests for 2022. So go ahead and hello, the invisible. The invisible is actually a new contact that I've made recently.
wow, cool.
Um, I would actually encourage everyone to. Is very intriguing at the moment, or they are very intriguing at the moment. Don't know what's going to happen, but they've got a new channel, and their videos are rather interesting. So I'm watching that space.
Cool, cool.
But the invisible, if you can possibly check out the paranormal side and watch some of their videos, please do. And I'm sure the paranormal side will do the same. It'll be interesting to
Sure
see
will.
what develops with your channel, The Invisible. And we have Zebel, Zebik, Zebik. Am I saying that right? I don't know.
Z-Blick.
Zebik,
Z-Blick.
Zebik. Thank you for joining us. Um, tell us a bit about yourself, Joe.
Well, we are from Eastern North Carolina in the United States, in just in case nobody knows. Um, we we've always, well, I say me and my wife, we've always been interested in the paranormal, and I guess we both grew up watching, these ghost shows from Paranormal State to Ghost Adventures, and even further down in the past from Unsolved Mysteries and what have you. So, with that being said, we just naturally just started doing ghost hunts with other groups, and I just said, "What the heck? Let's start filming them because you never know what might happen." And started uploading them, and I mean, it kind of went from there. But we really enjoy it, and it's one of our passions. So we really put a lot of time and energy into it, and I learn so much every day. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm not an expert. I'm never going to claim to be an expert, but I just love to learn about it, and whatever we can, so.
Yes. Oh God, who is an expert these days? Did you ever watch these shows? Can I ask how old you are? Just
I
out of interest.
I just turned 40 years old.
Okay, so I'm 50.
All right.
So I've been watching these shows a little bit longer, just a little bit longer than you. But
Yeah.
do you know when I first started watching um, some Australian shows, I can't remember what they were. Jackie would know if
Hmm.
you could help me out here. The something, all these paranormal shows back in the 80s and 90s, before YouTube, before social media, when all you had was television. And
Hmm.
of course, they're not going to show you the boring bits, they're going to show you the interesting bits.
Right.
Did you
Right.
ever think that, like, watching these shows, you could never do it yourself?
Yeah, especially when they had some of this equipment that I didn't really know what they had. And
Yes,
but as time went on, we kind of learned how things went and how things worked. Um, yeah, some of them older shows, especially in the 80s and 90s, I even still watch them today. I'll go back and rewatch them because they're just so good, and you don't get shows like that anymore. I don't understand it. It's just they're just good.
I know it was, but it just doesn't seem real because it's actually like the jump, like today's YouTubers do the jump scare.
Yeah.
Then they would recreate what other people have said and
Hmm.
create this whole jump scare of them of its own. It's
Yeah.
like, yes, before there was jump scare, there was.
Well, I know definitely you got to get somebody's attention quick on YouTube. You've got to get it. You got about 3 to 7 seconds, and if you don't get their attention, they're going to go on to something else. With the,
Absolutely.
with the day and age of TikTok and everything, so
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, it's terrible, isn't it? But
yeah.
anyway, that's why I've created TikTok. Take the best bits out of everything, put it on
Hmm.
TikTok in the hopes, or a short in the hopes that they'll come back and watch the full video, which
Right.
is so boring most of the
Hmm.
time. Yes. So you've been looking at EVPs lately.
Yeah, that's what really got me interested into the paranormal. And once we started going out on our own, we started getting voices in some locations, and that is what really blew me away. So ever since then, I've just been so interested in how the EVP actually works and the ins and outs of where these voices are coming from, from the skeptic side to the paranormal side. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I've just recently you've seen the COLAG walkthrough. I've got the investigation coming up, and I've got so many EVPs from that
mm,
um, investigation that it's not funny, and I'm almost like it took me ages to work out or to decide that it was an EVP. There's so many.
mhm.
It's like I've never had so many EVPs in my life. I actually felt almost like a fraud because there were heaps of them. So
Right,
I'd actually,
right.
after the video starts, I'd like to get a panel discussion up happening, finding out why there were so many, and there were heaps, heaps and heaps and heaps. But anyway, that's all beside the point. So, is there a place that you haven't explored that you would like to?
Well, there's so many, but I'm gonna say the Octagon Mansion in I think it's in Kentucky, or I think it's in Kentucky. The
Yeah.
Octagon Mansion. It's an old Civil War. I don't know if it was. I think it was a field hospital at one time too. But I would love to explore and investigate that place.
Mm,
And of course, Waverly Hills. So
yes.
and
Well, yeah, yeah.
so many more. So many more.
Well, to make you jealous, I've been to Waverly Hills 3 times.
Wow. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
Werner's Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Partner Werner, he's got Waverly Hills up there. Yeah, no, it's a good place. I like it, but in our last adventure, it became so commercial. Nobody was interested in actually investigating the place. I was more
Mhm.
interested in smoking on the balcony and the smoking
Mhm.
areas and just having a good old time. But
Yeah.
anyway, never mind. I still got to investigate the third time.
Well, it's like either you rent the place yourself, spend what is it, $1,000 a night or more, or you go in with a group. If you go in with a group, there's going to be more people there. So
Yes.
people just don't take the stuff seriously, So, especially the ones that only pay $50 to $100 for a ticket, they're just there to get an experience. So,
Absolutely.
if you're
Yes.
going to spend the big money, and you really want to get a really good private time, it'd probably be better just to rent it yourself. But who can afford that unless you got a group?
Exactly.
Big money.
Oh, I can't. When I go to America, I spend all my money on flights. It's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah,
I spend a year pre-booking my hotel rooms.
right. I would love to rent that place for one night. Just for one night would be enough, I think. I mean, oh Lord, I got hundreds and thousands of feet. Well, I don't know about hundreds of thousands, but thousands of feet of DVR cable that I could run to certain places, and I could just have me a ball that night, recording stuff.
Oh, so you could just like have your own little. I've seen so many YouTubers just have a setup in
Hmm.
one room and cameras everywhere.
Yep.
Is that what you'd like to do? Are you able? Do you have the ability to do that?
Yeah, we have a DVR system, and it's a cable DVR system. So I have to run the cables to each camera and hook it back up to the base camp. Now I only have 4 cameras for that, but I have other separate cameras for bases. Just regular cameras I can set up and walk away and leave too. But
Yeah.
I can't watch them real time though, like I can with the DVR.
No, no, cool. So you've got the equipment, you just haven't got the ability to go to places.
Well, I mean, we do get to go. We get to go plenty places, but the last couple months has been kind of down for us. So that's why we started doing other stuff for our YouTube channel. But we're just
Yeah.
gearing up for hopefully June. We're going to take a big trip, and then we got a really really big trip towards the end of the year, and that's going to be a big one. It's either going to be the end of the year or the beginning of next, and hopefully that's going to be the one that takes us across the United States.
Wow, that's
Right.
amazing.
Right.
Okay, if anybody would like to support Joe in their trip, I assume Kerry's going along. I have links in my description to not only Joe's channel but the Patreon and PayPal as well. I know there's not a lot of money around at all, so yeah, I understand if you can't, but if you can, and feel free to donate anything you can to the paranormal side so they might be able to make this journey and create some wonderful content. Um, Amy's Crypt, I was going to ask you, Amy's Crypt just recently posted a video because Amy and Jared, they actually live literally 3 suburbs away from me. I've never met them.
Wow.
Let me tell you this: I've never met Amy's Crib because even though they live 3 suburbs away from me, doesn't mean to say that I know them personally or anything like that.
All right.
But they just recently. Does anybody remember what it was called? If Mark and Annette are here, M&A's Adventures are here, they'll know what it's called. The the
Sally
the
House.
sorry,
Sally House.
the Sally House. Yes. Have you been to the Sally House? Is the Sally House available for anyone?
Well, you have to pay. I think it's $300 a night. $300 a
Oh,
night. So it's not. Well, actually, hold on. I think it's only like between. I think it's 125 to 150 per person. So
wow.
you just have to book it. Probably ahead of time because I'm sure that they're booked for a while. So yeah, that's really one of the places I want to try to get to very soon. Hopefully.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I saw that and I thought, oh, how wonderful.
Right.
Oh, yes, my next trip to America is definitely going to be a ghost hunting trip. I've done all the sightseeing. I've been to the Chrysler Building.
Mhm.
I've done Florida. You know, all that sort of thing. It's now time to get into the ghost hunting.
Right.
Yes. Anyway, what's the time? It is 12:17. Now I have two videos of yours that I thought we'd both do, or I'd do a live reaction to. One is I was going to do the Amityville horror, but that's like 43 minutes, and that will go beyond like my hour time frame. So I thought I'd chosen Robert the Doll, the most haunted doll in the world, or your 4 examples of EVPs. Your 4 EVP. I can't remember what it's called. It's not up on my screen.
I think that's
So
right.
I'm gonna let the chat tell me what are we going to watch and respond to. Robert the Doll or the EVP video. They're both about 12 minutes long. Here's an example of Robert the Doll.
Everyone has heard of the haunted possessed doll of Annabelle.
And here is
Hey y'all, this is Joe from the Paranormal side. Today we're going to be talking about 4 EVP clips that I would like to share with you today.
So which one would you like to see? I'll leave that open to the chat. Robert? D wants Robert? Ghostly Findings wants Robert? Oh, shit. Sorry. My mistake. Goodness knows where the hell that came from.
Oh, it goes to Get Spooky Society.
That's all right.
That's all right.
I will change it as soon as I possibly can. The third haunted doll letter, yes. Robert. Everyone wants Robert the doll. Okay. Well, first of all, let me find the proper link to. How the hell did I get Spooky Society on? Jesus. Oh, dear, dear. Here we go. The Paranormal side. Oh, maybe I was watching them at the time. I don't know. I had to catch so many videos.
Oh, yeah. They're a good channel, too.
They are an awesome channel. There we go. That should be replace pin message. Right. So let's go to Robert the Haunted Doll. And we'll do a live reaction. So I might just...
series. But there's another doll that is not as well known as Annabelle, but it is just as haunted and as creepy. Robert the Doll. He is said to be the most haunted doll in the world. So let's take a look into the doll's story and to see what we can uncover about the haunted doll.
Okay, that's just some fabulous editing. I just want to say that right from the start.
The doll is almost 120 years old, and the doll looks like a young sailor boy that now sits behind a glass in Fort East Montello Museum in Key West, Florida.
It's the ugliest doll I've ever seen in my life.
The doll is said to have a curse on it that many people say that if you take a picture of Robert the doll without asking permission first, you will become cursed, and it is said that bad luck will follow you.
Okay, challenge accepted. And actually, no, challenge not accepted.
But where did this creepy doll come from? And how and why is it said to be cursed? It all started
with a 4-year-old boy named Robert Eugene Otto. His family had moved to Key West in 1904. Robert did not have any friends yet because of the move. Robert's aunt went away on vacation to Germany, so she saw the doll sitting in a window of a store in Germany and had it shipped all the way back to America so Robert would have a little friend to play with until he found some friends of his own. Robert received the doll and instantly.
So is that actual? That's not Robert.
No,
No.
yeah, that's just stock footage right here.
Yeah.
Took a liking to the doll, and from that point on, the boy Robert called his doll Robert also, and the boy changed his personal name to Gene. The two would go everywhere together, and they were inseparable. Gene never did make any friends of his own other than Robert the doll. Gene even talked to the doll as if the doll was a real person and was alive.
Okay, so who hasn't done that? I mean, seriously. I mean, I've never changed my name, but who hasn't talked to a doll? I have. Werner has. I'm sure Miss Southern Belle has.
Some even thought that Gene and Robert's relationship was getting to be really unhealthy for the boy. Many times when the two were together, two voices sometimes would be heard giggling and talking. Objects got moved around in the room with no one present. If something come up broken or missing, or the room would become a mess with stuff all around and toys everywhere, Gene would always blame Robert the doll. One day, Gene's aunt came over to visit the boy and her family and saw her nephew having a weird behavior with Robert. She had only given the doll to Robert as a gift, as a short-term friend until Gene could make friends of his own, and she believed what was happening with Gene and Robert the doll was going too far. His aunt talked to Gene's parents and persuaded them to lock the doll away in the attic, but the very next day, she was found dead, and it looked as if she had passed away from natural causes. But this was just too much for Gene's parents to take, so they sent Gene away to boarding school. Many years passed, and now Gene was a grown man.
That's him.
Is that Gene?
Yeah, that's him as a grown man.
Okay.
But Gene never forgot about his doll named Robert. But as Gene was away at school, some of the neighbors claimed that they saw Robert looking through the attic windows at times. Even some of the neighbors' kids saw Robert looking out of the window also. And Robert the doll even seemed to change to different windows as he was staring out at the local kids. And this is how the legend got started. You know how local kids love to tell ghost stories about certain places and things. It wasn't long until Gene's dad passed away and his mother was sick. Gene had gotten married to a lady named Anne.
Is that Gene?
So Gene and his new wife
Yep.
moved into the home so he could take care of his mother that was sick until she passed away. The year was now 1945.
That's his painting too.
And Gene
That's his painting. Wow.
I
loved
think
to
it's a
paint
younger version.
Sorry.
I think that's a younger version of him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
all throughout his life. Now Gene was all grown up. He became a well-known artist in his day. Now that Gene had time to paint.
Is that their house or is that stock footage?
Yeah, that's the house. I went online and got pictures from the inside and added it because I wanted more than just the outside, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That's nice house.
Oh yeah.
That's the circular part of the house. Is it that's upstairs?
Yeah, I think that's where Gene painted his pictures with little Robert the doll in the corner in that room. I'm thinking so.
Oh, okay. And I reckon Robert the doll was looking out one of those windows.
Yep, that's what I get from it. Yep.
Yeah.
Paint. And being in that upper room attic had really good lighting, so he could see a lot better with his paintings. He was now reunited with his old pal Robert the doll up in the attic. Gene began to start acting strange again, as he did when he was a child. But sometimes when the visitors would come over to the house. Some people would say Robert's face would change facial expressions and would change depending on the conversations in the room at the time. People began to become afraid of the home and the doll. Jean's wife didn't really like the doll, and it really
I don't blame her. I wouldn't like it either.
started to hurt their relationship because of the weird things that was happening and Jean's attention to the doll, Robert. But in 1974, Jean passed away. Jean's wife, Anne, put Robert in an old chest and locked the doll away in the attic. Robert was now rediscovered years after Anne's passing. Robert the doll was given to Fort East Montello Museum in Key West, Florida, where Robert sits on display today. And the legend about Robert began to grow even larger. There are a few different stories of how Robert the doll became haunted. The first one is some people believe that Robert the doll was created with a dark ritual by an angry serpent who made the doll for the boy in this story as a type of revenge for a mistreatment by the family. Some also believe the doll inherits a spirit of a baby girl who was fathered by Jean's father through an affair with one of his servants' wives. And some say that the child died shortly after being born. So the baby's spirit is said to have passed into the doll. Many people have claimed to have sightings of a small girl walking around or sitting in the stairs that lead up to the attic where Robert the doll once lived. Since Robert the doll is now at the museum, the visitors to the museum taking pictures of Robert the doll began to experience bad luck and all kinds of crazy stuff in their life. Just as soon as leaving the museum, things like losing their jobs, relationship problems began, and even car problems, and many other bad luck types of things. So many started to blame their bad luck on Robert the doll. Each one that had the bad luck had one thing in common. They took Robert's picture without asking permission first. Was Robert the doll putting a curse on people that didn't ask permission first to take his photograph? It sure seemed like it. Many people from around the world would send Robert letters apologizing to him for taking his picture without asking permission first, and asking to please lift the curse. You can still see many of these letters still on display with Robert the doll at the museum. If you visit the museum to see Robert the doll, you must now ask him for his permission before taking his pictures. Now, Robert can't answer you back, but I guess it's just a simple, polite thing to do first before taking a few pictures. So what about you? Have you ever been to see Robert the doll? Or would you? And would you dare take a picture of Robert without asking for permission first? Let us know down in the comments below.
Wow. I'm just going to let this run through. Geez, that was one strange doll, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know.
So where is that museum?
It is in Key West, Florida. Key West,
Right.
Florida. Fort East Montello, I believe that's how it's pronounced.
Right. And okay, so to get my bearings, I have stayed in where did we stay, Werner? Palm Beach Gardens. Where's that in Florida? If you know, if you can tell me.
Palm Beach. I don't really know, to be honest with you. Hold on, let me check it
Oh,
out.
that's all right.
Well,
That's okay.
you know where Miami is, right?
I know Miami, yes.
All right, you keep heading south,
I
all the way down to the Keys. There's like several little small islands that are keys, and it's the last little key where people live at.
right. Yep. Yeah, fair enough. Wow. That's amazing. That's an interesting story and you've put that together so well.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
How long did that take you to do?
That took me probably about a week to do
Yeah.
that.
No.
Here's a little bit of the breakdown of the process. I've got to get all my information. I make a small script. I kind of edit it. Then I got to do the voiceover. I've got to edit the voiceover, so there's no gaps or coughs or anything like that. Then I start putting it all together, from the videos. Once I got all the videos up and I got everything like I like it, then I got to add music. Then I got to add sound effects and make sure everything's good. It's a long process.
Yes, as anyone with a channel, editing videos would know. So
Right.
what's your next project? What can we expect now from the paranormal side?
Well, in the future, I know I got a couple more ghost stories coming out soon. I've got a couple cryptid stories coming out probably after that. Not many of those, but hopefully around in June we can get back out into the field and do some real investigating and get us some more investigation videos back into the loop. I like doing these stories though, and I think people really enjoy them too. It gives them a little bit of a break from just watching regular old investigations sometimes too. And
yeah,
but I still really love doing investigations though, so they're coming back. They're just on a hiatus for a second, for a little while.
fair enough. I don't blame you. Does anybody from the chat? I know the chat's been running hot this afternoon. We've actually got 14 people, which is great considering the number of subscribers. Does anybody have any questions that I might have missed or comments they want to make to the paranormal side? Have you ever been anywhere that you've like, no, I'm not coming back here again? It's just freaked you out too much, or is there no place too scary for you?
Well, there's nothing big. There was this small cemetery we went to one night, not too far from my house, and it didn't seem like nothing happened that night. We got a video out of it, but I don't think there was no paranormal no paranormal in there at all. But that night, something followed us back home, I believe, and it was something that was so bad that I don't think I'm ever going to go back to that graveyard again, because it made me rethink about everything I was doing, and so I don't know. I kind of want to go back just to see, but I don't know. Something was really warning me to never to go back to that one place again. But I mean, one place that I am leery of, and I'm still going to do it, but I'm leery of it, and I'm kind of holding off, and that's Bobby Mackey's. I'm kind of suspicious about that a little bit, but I'm still looking forward to going and investigating those. But
I've been to Bobby Mackey's,
right,
or we call it Bobby McKay's because that's just how we roll down here in Australia.
Well, how was it for you?
Sorry?
How was your experience?
It was good. It was actually quite benign, to be perfectly honest.
Good.
Very benign. I took photographs. I didn't take any video footage. This was going back in 2016 or 18, like before. Obviously, I got my channel up, and for me back then, photos were king, and couldn't be bothered filming every little thing that I saw. These days, I'd be filming everything. But yeah, no, it was quite benign. Very interesting. I'm gonna go back.
Right.
And explain it. So Nocturnal Nation wants to know where you're from.
We are from Eastern North Carolina.
Puddle of Souls wants to know your scariest experience.
My scariest experience was so far at Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. I was filming there, and in an area, I think it was on Ward C. Anyway, I think, yeah, it was the men's area on Ward C, I believe it was. And all of a sudden, I was walking up to this one guy's room that they called him like the boxer, like the guy like he boxing in the ring and stuff. Anyway, he was supposed to have killed another guy with a bed rail post in another room. But this was his room that we were walking up to. And all of a sudden, something, I don't know if it was a hiss or if something fell and it sounded like a hiss, but it scared the living hell out of me. But I mean, I jumped back and I'm like, what was that? And actually, after I kind of got my wits together, I'm like, I've got to find out what that was. So I actually went, and it had like a little door in front of it that you kind of chest high, and it was on like a hinge. So I opened up the door and I went inside, and I could see nothing that could have fell. I don't know where that sound came from. I mean, I'm thinking it was a hiss, but
yeah,
I couldn't debunk it. So, but it really scared me.
Wow, that's
right.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Okay, Nocturnal Nations link. Let's Jackie's link.
Do I take holy water with me? I see one. I don't take holy water. I take holy oil.
You're probably a bit further on in the chat than I am.
Oh, probably so.
I thank you, Neva. Okay. Bobby McKay's music world is very active place, is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Me too. I don't. Nocturnal. Oh, okay. We're all sharing each other's things. That's okay. Is too scary. Going by others' perspective. Jack Osborne had a bad time. Yes. I went up into his flat. Was he the manager? I went up into his flat as well. We actually got away with paying $20 American for a private tour, actually. Mm-hmm. I think the woman felt bad for us because last time we were there and tried to get a booking, I think we were kicked out of where we were for some reason. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. We had to leave and we couldn't do Bobby Mackey, so I got to her in 2018.
So you went up into a little flat area where there was like a room. I don't know. I think that was Carl's room, if I'm not mistaken.
It was Carl's room.
Carl's room. Yep.
It is all absolutely fantastic. Everyone's talking to each other. They're not listening to us.
Well, it makes me feel better about Trans-Allegheny that you told me that. I mean, I always hear stuff, and actually a lot of times when I go to these places, they're never like people say they are, because you hear stuff on TV and they always make things sound so much worse.
Yes, everybody's subbing to it. That's good. Close to me, I live in Marietta, Georgia. I like Georgia. I want to visit Georgia. Yes. Definitely.
Marietta, Georgia. I heard there's a few things down there too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've heard Georgia's very haunted. I imagine it would be. I don't know.
We went to Savannah, Georgia, and done a few investigations down there.
Have you ever been or going to go to
Centralia? Centralia. I've not been there yet, but I definitely would like to check it out. That's like the Silent Hill area of what they call Silent Hill, like the movie they have out with the smoke and I guess I don't know if it's coal underground burning or underground fires, but seems real interesting though.
So many places. That
right.
Carl's room is at Bobby's. The Carl's room is at Bobby's. Jack Osborne, Ozzy's son, took something home. Oh, is that what it was? Okay, everyone's something to each other. Do you do collabs at the paranormal side?
Yeah, we do. And we have. So far, we've collabed with the Get Spooky Society and American Phantom Hunter, and that's about it so far. But yeah, we're interested in collabing with folks. Oh yeah. Do I plan on coming to Las Vegas at some point down the road? I sure do, bud. I sure do. Southern Love, he's a good guy too. I know him.
I've been to Las Vegas 3 times. All I've done there was gamble my $5 away. It's my gambling budget.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. Well, when I go, I'm gonna try not to gamble, but temptation's always going to be there. But
Look, you can't go to Las Vegas and not put $5 in, really.
Right.
I mean, that's all I could afford.
Yeah.
3 years in a row, $5. I lost it all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel? Yeah, that's a good question. Have you ever felt someone touching you?
I believe I have one time, and really, this is what really got me. Other than watching the ghost shows, this is kind of what helped me get interested into the paranormal. I was on a historical tour in New Bern, North Carolina, which that's where I grew up at. Anyway, there's a place down there called the Tryon Palace, and there's a place right next door to the Tryon Palace. I think it's called the John Wright Stanley, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I was inside, and they were telling us on the tour, and I was the last one in the back of the group, and I looked up, and I thought I seen somebody poke their head around the corner of the stairway looking down, and then I'm like, nah, I didn't see that. The next few seconds later, something felt like it grabbed the back of my shirt and pulled it real tight. And I'm looking around, and there's nobody behind me. And I couldn't have got it hung on nothing. And, at first I didn't really think a whole lot about it. But later on, as time went on, I'm like, something pulled my shirt. Check this out. I got it verified. Not a video or anything, but I was reading a book on the ghost of New Bern, North Carolina. And that is one of the things that they say happens in that house. Somebody will pull your shirt. So
wow.
I think I experienced that.
Wow. That's interesting because we have a cemetery, the reformatory.
Mm-hmm.
It's a girls' reformatory on one side that it's actually been knocked down because it was on Nadie's TV show and everybody went up there, so they took the rest of the thing down and it's just now nothing. And then on the other side was a cemetery where one of the girls was supposed to have been buried. Apparently she was pregnant and they tried to abort the child and she died in during the abortion. And apparently the nuns, if you're a woman and you go there with long hair and your hair isn't tied back, the nuns will pull your hair. That's what they reckon says. So I actually went I had long hair back then. I actually went down with my hair down in the hopes of getting my hair pulled. Never happened. Never happened.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed.
Yeah. It seems like if you want it to happen, it don't. So.
It doesn't.
Right.
Yes. And okay, the chat's gone quickly again. What is your favorite equipment to use to investigate?
I like to use something simple, a recorder. That's my favorite thing to use because the game Spirit Voices or EVP, I love that. To me, if you're in a quiet room, you set the recorder down and there's no vibrations or anything and you're just being still, getting EVP is one of the most amazing things that I've ever experienced so far. Because I love it. It's amazing. And I also like the K2,
Oh, the K2 is awesome. You can just get that out. No matter where you are, you can always get K2 out. Just
right.
put it in your handbag. Handbag or anything like that. Yes. So it looks like Nocturnal Nations is up for a collab near you if you're interested.
Yeah.
We've done that one. Mark and Annette have shared their link. Have you met Harold the doll?
I don't know about Harold. Now I've heard of a Norman the doll, but I don't know about Harold.
D Spirit Box or D Tune TV? I've never heard of D Tune TV.
I use a spirit box. I mean, I'm assuming they're talking about a TV that using the white noise from the TV, like the older style antenna type TVs with that white noise. I'm assuming that's what they mean. But I use a spirit box, SB7 spirit box. But I haven't taken my antenna out because I'm always worried I'm gonna mess something up with that.
Okay. That question has actually already been answered.
Right.
I've never heard of Harold the Doll either. Yes, okay. That's pretty much unless I scroll back. That's pretty much all the people's questions at the moment. So, what's time? We're looking at 10. We've got 10 minutes left of this hour.
Mhm.
It's
Well,
gone very, very quickly, actually.
right. Sure
Yes.
does.
So, no, that's okay. You don't have to be sorry.
Well, one thing I do recommend, and like I said earlier, I'm not an expert. I never will claim to be an expert, but I just recommend that if somebody's going to start ghost hunting, that they learn everything that they can. You can't learn everything, but learn as much as you possibly can, have enough understanding to go out there in the field and know what you're kind of doing. A lot of people will go out there in the field and have a K2 and not understand what the K2 is or what the K2 is about. Just simple stuff. It doesn't hurt to read, it doesn't hurt to watch videos. That's just my 2 cents.
Absolutely. And it's a good 2 cents worth.
Right. I see so many people out there using K2s right next to their cell phones. And I'm like, that's going to give you a false hit.
I know, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Make sure there's nothing around. Always turn, because most of the apps, most of the dinky die is that I don't know if the Americans would understand what dinky die means, but dinky die is like Reggie Dig. It's Australian for genuine. Oh, sorry. Dinky die is Australian for genuine. Genuine apps can work with the aeroplane mode on.
Right.
So that it doesn't interfere. So if you've got like Ghost Tube, Necrophonic, other apps like that, you can turn the phone off, put it into aeroplane mode, and it would still work.
Exactly. Yep.
And that's how you know what a good app is. Werner's got an app that I used just the other day. I didn't even know it existed. It's like five things in one. You got the Ghost Tube, you got everything. You just switch from one to the other. I want to investigate that a bit further.
I kind of use the Ghost Tube a lot lately, and I have used the Necrophonics. I don't know if I really care for the Necrophonics a whole lot, but I've got friends that really recommend the Vox app, and I guess yes, an app, but they say it really helps out a lot too. But it's got a lot of settings, and but that's something that I'm gonna try to use more in the future is the Vox.
So, are you talking about D-Tune TV? Anthony Quinn owns it. Zach Bagan tried to. get it also for his museum. Is that? I'm not too sure what we're talking about here. Um, the Earth has ley lines where
Yeah.
energy sometimes it bursts. Large amounts of magnetic energy opens the doors and we can't see it.
Yeah, I kind of believe that. I was out in it was kind of late. It wasn't past the curfew time in the Gettysburg battlefield yet. I think you got to be out of the fields by like 10 or 10:30, but it was dark. Um, and out there in the middle of the field, I was getting K2 hits really hard on the K2, and everywhere I shined it and even put it on the ground, I kept getting really high K2 hits off of the K2, and I could not understand it. But quartz, granite, and flowing water, I believe that they have something to do with paranormal also. So,
Yeah. Go on.
basically, and the ley lines, it's been proven that ley lines have some kind of energy flow with it, and possibly opens up portals too.
Yeah. Sandra Pink was talking about, Sandra Pink. A
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people
Hmm.
know that. She was talking about water having an effect on spirit activity
I
or
believe that. I believe
yes.
that because everywhere I've really been and investigated and had a lot of activity has had flowing water next to it, so or close by. And if you look, I don't know if you have ever looked on the map of the U.S. Um, the Ohio River that flows in from the Mississippi. There is a bunch of supposed haunted locations up and down that river. Now, is that because people settled on that river, next to that river during the olden times of the U.S., or is there just a lot of energy flowing through there? I believe both, really. But I think water has something to do with it, flowing water, and the quartz in the ground.
Okay.
But yeah, that D2 TV though, I understand. I get what she's saying though. It's like a TV that doesn't turn to a certain channel. It's the white noise in the television. I haven't used one, but I've thought about trying to do that. That seems really interesting to me. See if I couldn't get some kind of spirit voices or white noise out of it.
Yes. Betty, pull off your shirt. Magnetic, pull your metal off your shirt. That's an interesting question.
I don't think so. Do I ever feel something magnetic pull metal from each other? I don't think so.
Do you believe in aliens?
Ooh, that's a tough one for me. Yeah, somewhat I do. I had an experience when I was a kid, and I believe it was definitely UFO, unidentified flying objects. I didn't see aliens, but I've seen that several times when I was younger. But so what I seen, I know it wasn't swamp gas because I hadn't seen anything like this in my life to move as fast as it did.
I know. You know what? I'm so going to use that one day. I know it wasn't swamp gas.
Right. Oh, yeah.
That must be an American thing. That's the most hilarious thing I've heard all night. I know it wasn't swamp gas.
Right.
Oh, your idea.
Or, they also have ball lightning too. You've heard of that?
Sorry?
Have you ever heard of ball lightning?
No, I haven't.
Well, that's a real thing. It somehow the lightning forms a ball, and it actually can. It's a destructive thing, and it can go through windows or windows or walls, and it's actually dangerous. But it could last from probably a few seconds to maybe a minute or more. But yeah, I believe that there is something definitely out there that we haven't discovered yet.
Wow. This is Puddle of Souls. I'd like to actually talk to you maybe 1 month. I've got quite a few guest speakers coming up and things like that. It sounds like you've got some interesting ideas and things to talk about, and that might be great to do that. Have you ever been to Skinwalker Branch?
No, I haven't been out west yet. But yeah, that would be a cool location to check out.
Yeah.
There is so many things that go on out there and so many stories. It's amazing.
Yes, I know the Paranormal Polynesian, if anyone's heard of him, or
Mm-hmm.
it's been to Skinwalker Branch, ranch, as they say in the somewhere in the world. No, my mum had a lightning ball come through her house when she was young. Wow. Yeah, so yeah, Paddle of Souls, I might have you on and have a chat to you about some of the interesting things you talk about. It is 12:59. The hour is up. Seriously, subscribe to the Paranormal side. Links in pinned to the top. There's also links in the description in terms of PayPal and Patreon. If you want to help support Joe financially, it's totally up to you. A like and subscribe and a comment is free, as you know. And if you have the ability, check out the Paranormal Side playlist and run the playlists as well. That will be great to get the 4,000 hours up. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm actually thinking of creating a podcast, like turning all my chats into MP3s and turning them into podcasts as well. So I don't know.
Good idea.
See how we go. And if so, they'll be in the podcast description as well. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. It's been great to chat to you. That video was amazing. And I'd love to showcase more of your videos. I'll probably have you on again to do a reaction outside of a live show. If anybody would like to join me on a TOT on a Tuesday night or Sunday afternoon, I know for the US Sunday afternoon is better. Please feel free to get in contact with me through Instagram, email, Facebook, or send, that's basically it. Email, Instagram, or Facebook. Let me know. I'll be happy to have you on. Thank you once again, Joe. Like, subscribe, share this out. Let's get Joe monetized as quickly as possible. And I will see you all in the next video. Next week, I have got, this is the interesting one. Next week, I have got the part 2 of my colleague investigation, and there are so many EVPs in that. I never have had so much paranormal activity in any of my investigation whatsoever. And I don't know if it's because it's never been investigated before or because I've got 2 people who are what do you call them? You can communicate with spirits. The word
spirits.
Not empaths, but
I was about to say empath.
what are they called?
Damn, I don't know.
Mediums. 2
Medium.
mediums.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, I was going to say psychic, and then I was going to say empath.
Yeah, no. I was thinking empath, but I had 2 mediums there, and I don't know if that helped to get the spirits communicating, but many EVPs, and I actually spent hours listening to all the EVPs, trying to decide whether they were really EVPs or not. So the video has been edited to within an inch of its life, literally. So I would actually love to have everyone there, check it out, and maybe have a discussion panel afterwards. Lots of stuff happened. Werner got attacked. Something attached itself to him.
Oh, Lord.
And the actual investigation got cut short because we were trying to get Werner sort of like free of this entity, whatever it was, an alpha an alpha spirit. We also help somebody to cross over as well,
Wow.
which is very interesting. Yes. So that wasn't the work of me. That was the work of my friends. This is my new kind of paranormal team.
Mm-hmm.
It's not yeah. I'll talk about that later, but right now, we've got to go. Thank you once again, and I shall see you in the next video. Next Sunday, I've got my 500 thank you live to go out. You'll meet my very first mentor and friend who helped me in my first few videos. So thank you, Joe, once again. Thank you, chat. I appreciate everyone
Well,
being
thank y'all.
here, and I'll see you all next week.